Hello,
Hey, good afternoon.
good afternoon. My name is Ben Galbo.
Hi, Ben. This is Mike Grissy. How are you?
Good, Mike. Uh, you are a franchisee of Surface Experts.
I am not. I am looking at it from an opportunity standpoint.
Oh, good. Same
How about-
here.
Okay.
Same
What?
here.
Where are you? What part of the world?
I am based in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Not too terribly far. I'm in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, great. Yep. Nice little 5-hour drive from
Yeah,
Detroit.
I've done it once or twice.
Right. How long are you in the process?
Not very. Just a couple weeks. This is the first validation call that I've had.
Right.
How about you?
This is my second.
Okay.
Julie, are you on? Hello, Julie. Hey, Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is that Bill McKeown?
Yeah, Bill McKeown. Yeah, that's me.
Bill, yeah. You sound kind of faint, but I can hear you.
Okay. Let's see what I can do to help this out. How about now?
About the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
Let me rejoin real quick.
Okay. So, Mike, I've been looking into this for about a month, I'd say,
Okay.
and I've had some conversations with Sean. I don't know if you've dealt with Sean.
Yeah, I have.
Is that you? Is that you, Bill?
That's me.
Click Bill's back. Yep.
Let's see.
Sounds a little better, and now we can see you.
Right.
Is Julie on?
I don't see her as a participant right now.
Do I still sound faint?
No, not so much.
Not
Bill.
so much. Okay. Well, hey guys, I think I'm the only one from Surface Experts on, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Right, so we have Ben and who else?
This is Mike Grissy. I'm in Cincinnati.
Mike, Cincinnati. Okay. And Ben, where are you from?
I'm in the Detroit area.
Detroit. Okay, very good.
Yes, and Francisco and Maria from Texas.
Hi. Where in
Hello.
Texas? San Antonio?
Houston.
Hey,
Where are you
this
from,
is
Texas?
Julie. My apologies. I'm just
Hi, Julie.
joining. My apologies. Technical difficulties.
Hi, Julie. I can hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hey, who's on the meeting?
Well, Julie, I'm a interested franchisee. I'm just in the process of looking into Surface Experts, and my name is Ben Galbo, and I live in the Detroit, Michigan area.
Oh, great, Ben. I'm from, I went to school in Ann Arbor, but I'm from Michigan, Grand Rapids area.
Oh, fantastic! Did you go to U of M?
Yep. Went to U of M. So diehard Michigan fan. Are you Michigan or Michigan State?
I'm more of a Michigan fan. I went to school at Wayne State and to Lawrence Tech University here in the Detroit area. But if
Oh, great.
but
Well, great.
you're gonna have to somehow change the color of the phone on your screen because it's green right now.
Oh, and I'm in my car right now, so I apologize. I don't have my live video feed on. So all right. All right. And then is Mike on the call too?
Hi, Julie. I am. I'm in Cincinnati, and
Oh.
I hope we can get along okay because I'm a Buckeye.
Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
My daughter wants to go to vet school and she's applying to Ohio State. So I'm like, well, if you must, only because Michigan doesn't
Well,
have a vet
they have a
program.
good program. You'll just have to hold your nose 4 or 5 times a year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, my apologies for joining late. So,
And then we have Francisco on as well, Julie.
oh, Francisco. Hey, Francisco, where are you from?
Hey, Julea, I'm from Houston, Texas.
You-
Oh, great.
And the person next to you, Francisco, is who?
It's my wife, Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria.
Very
Hey,
nice.
Maria. Hello. We only have a couple offices in Texas, so Houston's a wonderful market.
Yes, hopefully, yeah.
Well, great.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey,
Yeah.
let us tell a little bit about ourselves and our franchise real quick, and then we'll open the floor. We'll let you ask us any questions. So I'll start off. I'm Bill McKeown, and I run the Raleigh, North Carolina market. My franchise is called Surface Experts of North Raleigh, and I've been in business since March of 2021. And I have a franchise with about 550,000 population and about 30,000 multifamily units. Currently, I have 3 techs. I'll have 4 tomorrow. I've got a new person starting tomorrow, 4 techs, a salesperson, myself, and my wife works in the business a little bit.
You're very efficient, Bill, when you speak.
Mm.
My name is Julie, and I opened a little bit before Bill in October of 2020. So we're almost 2 years, not quite. And I'm in the Northwest Atlanta area. I actually live outside of my territory, but not too far outside the territory. And we've got 3 techs, and I've got a salesperson, and my husband was initially going to kind of help with it, but he is in consulting, so he's sticking with consulting. And it's been, just a lot of information. It's been just a great ride and great people. So, anything that we can do, or anything I can do to help, definitely ask away. Anything that we can help you out with as you go through this process.
Great. Bill, I see you're wearing an apron. Are you one of your own techs?
I am. You see how
Oh,
there
great. Yeah. Wow.
I am. I'm actually working with one of my techs today. We're doing refinishing of backsplash and some shower surrounds.
Great.
But yeah, I am. So basically, I have 3 techs. I'm a 4th tech. I'm hiring another one tomorrow. So then I'll go back to doing a little bit of sales, a little bit of tech, a little bit of operations, and then, whatever else.
How has it been, Bill and Julie? How has it been finding techs in this, environment with, people struggling in all industries to find staffing? Has it been a struggle? Has it been a tough thing to find the right profile?
I'll answer first. I'll say I haven't had really much difficulty. So let's see. I've been through a few techs. I've had a few techs that have come and gone, but my current set of techs, it really wasn't that difficult. We have a solution called Career Plug, and it aggregates listings all over the place, Indeed and ZipRecruiter and LinkedIn and Facebook, all kinds of different job posting boards. So it aggregates that. I wouldn't say I've had 15 or 20 for each position, but I've had five or so for each time I post a position.
Okay.
I've had actually, it's been harder for me to find sales than it has been for techs. And we've been through a couple as well. You are going to have some turnover. I just had one of my really good techs a few months ago. He went back to school, but then we've got another one starting. So, there is going to be some transition. I think different offices experience different things. We've really kind of beefed up and gotten more creative with how we've done job descriptions using Career Plug. And actually, I get more success, even though Career Plug kind of goes through Indeed. I just sponsored ads on Indeed for techs have been pretty successful. I've had some really nice resumes. And again, we're kind of changing the way we describe things as well. And it appeals to people. They want to learn a new trade. I use a term like creative restoration specialist, and it draws people. But for me, the sales side has been a little bit more difficult, finding a good fit there.
Yeah, the same for me, because we're in a high tech area, and so everybody who wants to be in sales wants to sell software so they can make 6 figures a year. That's not what we're paying. So
Right.
Yep.
That's
Julie and Bill. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm similar to Bill in the sense that I wear a lot of different hats, and I think most owners do wear a lot of different hats. There's a few that aren't as involved in the tech side, but I think just having that knowledge is very helpful. I don't do a lot of the power tool side of it, what we do, but I work in certain areas to really kind of help shore up our team. So I think probably as you talk to people, you'll find that's pretty common. I don't think anybody wants to be full-time in the field because you obviously can't grow your business that way, but certainly having a knowledge of what we do, and definitely a recommendation of going to tech training just for your own benefit and to understand and even just know products, what to order and what your techs are talking about is really could only help you if you're thinking about, going down the franchise road. Definitely go to both the training side for the tech and for the sales and the owner side.
Sure. Julie and Bill, can you talk a little bit more about the sales side? So it sounds like you both have a salesperson. Just what is involved with the business development side? How much of it are you having to do? How quickly did it take you to ramp up to get to additional techs? And I'm really just, my curiosity is just really what it takes to get the phone to ring.
yeah, let's start off. So I was fortunate that I hired a salesperson right out of the gate. I met him on LinkedIn, and he was actually interested in franchising, and then he wasn't. He kind of got cold feet. So I said, "Hey, you're in sales. I'm starting this business. What if you come and be my salesperson? Then if you want to go off and be a franchisee somewhere, even if it's Surface Experts, then I'll help you get started." But he's been my salesperson for almost 2 years now, and he likes it a lot. And so we're very fortunate to have him. I'm hiring a second person to concentrate on non-multifamily, like moving companies, hotels, restoration companies, and the like, construction.
And how long it takes, a tech to train, to have him, full working at, outside?
3 months.
3 months? Wow.
I
Yeah.
find too, I think sometimes, some of what we do, there's, a continuum of services. And so I always like to tell people too, like early on, get those good wins. There are more difficult repairs, and you need to kind of build into some of those difficult repairs. And it takes time to do that, especially as you're launching. You're not going to be able to do the repairs that, a year in, 6 months in that you can do. So be okay with that. As your business grows, your tech is going to grow, and that knowledge and the complexity of what you take on will happen as well in time. But don't overcommit right away. I mean, it does take time to learn how to do this, and to do it well.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's important. What Julie just said, don't overcommit. Just learn the capabilities of your tech and your technical capabilities in general, whether it's yourself or your tech or some part of your team. Learn those capabilities and play to them. Don't try to overreach too soon.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to feel a lot of stress.
And I have a question, Mead. Did you start like the tech, or do you have another person like a tech?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
If when you start the franchise, was the tech?
No, I had another tech.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most, I will say, I don't know of anybody who started the franchise and the owner, from the owner side being the main tech. Now, we do have some owners who start off with a sales background, so they are initially more focused on the sales side and may be the main salesperson. But typically, you definitely are not going to grow if you start off yourself being the tech, because, you know, but like I said, a lot of us get involved with it because, you know, you obviously you need to know what you're doing and help your techs, and so you definitely get involved, but not starting off as the tech.
And how
Although I
about how
will
long did?
actually, Bill, I was going to say, actually, Bill, there is an exception, because actually one of our offices that just took off like crazy, Bill's office did as well, but they're a husband and wife team, and the wife is a salesperson and the husband is the technician, and that it's a fantastic combination.
Okay.
But it's also very unique. There aren't, they're the only franchise that's like that.
Yeah, very true.
How long did you find it took until you were in a position where you needed to hire a second tech?
3 months.
3 months?
I was about 6 months.
Got it.
And you sometimes want to hire that second tech before you can completely, you do need to take a little bit of a, you know, a step off the cliff a little bit to do that too, because if you are hiring too late, then you're missing out on opportunities too. And kind of the saying that we have is, if you've got 2 techs, you've got 1 tech. You know, if you've got 1 tech, you may not have any tech. So it's better to kind of transition and take that step maybe sooner than later sometimes.
And for you, what is which the main business is multi-units, or, you know, construction, hotels? When you started, what was the main, you know, the main
95% multifamily.
multifamily? Okay.
We do more construction. I will say we do more construction. So we probably are more 75% multifamily, 25% construction.
Did you do that out of the gate, Julie?
No, not out of the gate. No, not out of the gate. But that was our job that we got, where it stressed us out. It's like all of a sudden with construction, it usually isn't just like one thing. You could all of a sudden get, oh gosh, we've got 15 tubs for you. So, so there's good and bad with construction.
Julie, what kind of things do you do for construction companies? Is it the damage that's incurred during the building process that you go back in and repair?
Yeah, we, our customers really like us because we can come back and we can touch all their surfaces. So if they've got a crack in their tub, if they've got rustings in their tub, if they've got chips in their tub, if they've got adhesive and stains on their quartz and granite countertops, if they've got maybe some little nicks or in their LVP, or in their, we just did 6 units of massive adhesive and paint on all their wood stairs at townhomes. And so it's a little bit of everything, that they just kind of know that, hey, we can take care of it. We do some punch list things. I mean, we can say we can kind of come back and do your punch list, but we're not typically doing drywall. But we will do some rough house cleans, in the sense of, you know, they've got all this really nice LVP on their flooring and there's tons of drywall, adhesive paint on it, and we can come in, and you have to be kind of careful with it. So they really appreciate that we do that too. So it takes a while, especially with home builders. We have found, we work with some other construction companies that are, you know, they do like larger projects, but not, you know, not individual homes. And they're much easier. All they need is a W-9 and a COI, and you're good to go sometimes. But with the home builders, it can be quite a process to get through and to become an approved vendor. But we've been really good with them. And then once you start working with the construction managers, now we're working on the warranty side. So as you know, the homes get turned over, now we're working with the warranty managers on follow-up. So it can be really good.
I am trying to figure out how to get myself off video, so you guys don't see all this crazy walking around stuff. I keep asking.
It's like you're multitasking, Bill.
Yeah, yeah, I just feel pain too, by the way.
Okay.
What else?
Well,
I agree.
one of the things that was mentioned before is that you kind of stick with not doing the full spectrum of all the repairs you can do. You kind of stick with what the expertise of your technician is learning. Is that what your point was earlier, Bill and Julie?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
mean, you're going to learn. Okay, so these are the core things we do. We do tubs, we do stainless steel, we do glass cooktops, we do laminate countertops, and we do vinyl floors. Those things they're going to learn the quickest. Okay, so don't go out and hire them off for fixing these crazy cracked cabinets right off the bat when they have no experience doing that. Don't go having them fix a broken slab of granite right off the bat if they have no experience.
How do they get that experience? Do they just by doing them slowly, or is the training help them with that?
A little of both. Training introduces them, I would say, more than anything, but it's just by experience. A lot of what we do follows the same process. We're filling a hole, we're matching, colors, we're matching sheen, patterns, and then you learn to use the tools like the glues and the fillers and things like that in the most common things that you do, and then it's really just it's a pretty good reference for how to do some of the other more challenging repairs.
And most of those jobs, they come through the call center, or they just contact you guys directly?
We usually, especially, I mean, we're out in the field every day talking to customers. It's very rarely, I guess as we get bigger and more well known, we'll get more calls to the call center, but we rarely have had people just call in to ask for repairs. And if that has happened, we just got one the other day with a homeowner, and it's not worth us to work with homeowners. I mean, we really try to make that 0%. So yeah, because we want things that are repeatable, and you can't, if you go out and work with a homeowner who wants everything perfect and they want something done for $200 or $300, you're not going to repeat it. That 90% of the time takes you to get to that 90%, and or 50% of the time takes you to get to that 90%, and then they want perfection. So I think most offices try to avoid homeowners, but we do get leads occasionally from the support center from that. But typically it's, you and your salesperson going out there and, kind of spreading the word of who you are.
Okay.
And then after a couple months, those customers are going to tell their friends, and they're going to move to other places, and your business will just start to grow somewhat organically that way as well.
Okay.
For the homeowner piece or for the multifamily piece, Bill?
A multifamily piece. Yeah.
The family.
Okay.
Now the homeowner, as Julie said, we try to drive that to 0%, but we work with moving companies and restoration companies, and occasionally we do work with private homeowners, but it's a lot more challenging. They want perfect.
Right. Does most of your leads in business come through property managers and maintenance people that are in charge of fixing up those multifamily units, or do the unit owners themselves contact you?
They're typically not. Yeah, they're typically not contacting us initially. We're out in the field, knocking on doors, doing sales stops, and we've got a search we use. It's very effective. It's very brief, and we're getting to the heart of typically targeting that head of maintenance. and then sometimes the property manager, and just developing that relationship, asking some key questions to get our foot in the door. And usually that foot in the door is a really, it's, you know, it's just a repair that they can't take, and they need some extra hands on something to take off their plate, and then you do a great job, and then obviously they've got 500 units, so then you start repeating that, and then you go deeper and wider into all different surfaces.
Okay.
And how many times do you find when you're on a job or one of your techs are on a job, are they able to find additional repairs during that call?
It depends. You know, for example, today one of my techs had 2 on one stop. You know, I have one tech always constantly looking for that. Sometimes we run special contests. Like last month, we said, "Hey, there's 15 days left in the month, so if you get 10 add-ons in the next 15 days, you get $100 in your paycheck," and you know that worked. But sometimes they're busy, and even if they'd like to get an add-on, they don't have time to do it. We'd have to come back and get it done. But it's a part of what they do.
And a lot of times it is like everybody's been really busy, so sometimes you almost don't have time, which, you know, but we always still like to tell our customers, just kind of as we're leaving, hey, is there anything else? I mean, we've done the sales side, but then our techs are really good about saying, hey, is there anything else you'd like me to look at while I'm out here? So they're looking, that kind of the first thing they learn in training is to go walk around the unit before they start that specific repair they came out for. And then, you know, if they do see something, they can text, either, you know, talk to the salesperson or talk to the maintenance supervisor and say, hey, would you like me to take care of this while I'm out here as well? Or as they're wrapping something up, like our team is really good. They would say, hey, is there anything else you'd like me to look at while I'm here? And that does open the door to additional repairs or conversations about, you know, we're out there for a tub, but they don't always hear that we work on all these services. It's like a continuous education process with them, and it just kind of reinforces that. So it's really great to, once you start getting into these customers, they realize, hey, we do a great job with tubs, but then you move to that next service, we're working on their countertops, then we start working on their LVP flooring, and then we start working on their cabinets. And that's really nice. And the customers really enjoy it too, because they're just dealing with one vendor at that time for a lot of their turns.
I have another question. If I don't want to ask all the questions, but go ahead. If anybody else has a question, I'll wait.
No, you go.
Go.
Okay. So how long did it take you guys to break even, and how many, and everyone's pro forma I'm sure is different with what they start out with, a home-based business or with an office, but about when did you start to kind of get into the black?
So in the black, I think means that you're covering your expenses with your revenue, right? Not that you paid off your investment. 4 months, and then we've stayed there.
Stayed there and advanced. I'm sure.
Yeah, meaning we're still growing and we're still in the black.
Okay.
We had some turnover early on. I mean, everybody does get some turnover, but we did have some turnover. So it did take us a little bit longer. And then you start, for us at least, we're in the black, and then we kind of take that leap and get the next person. So we're in the black, but not as black as we were. So, but then you build to that again as you make that investment in that next tech or, you know, the sales side. So, but I think for us, it was closer to 6 to 7 months where we were in the black.
Okay. And when you have, like, for example, 3 or 4 techs, you know, how many jobs you represent per day, you know, 10, 15 jobs per day, less than that.
So to be, just to get the terminology straight, so a job could mean more than one repair, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So typical number of jobs that our techs have per day is anywhere from 3 to 5. And we have, so we currently have 3 full-time techs plus me. So we're running, somewhere like 15 jobs a day.
Okay.
And how many repairs is that typically, Bill? So if you're saying 3 to 5, is that 8 to 10 repairs, or is that also 3
I
to
would
5
say
repairs?
7, anywhere from 7 to 10.
Okay.
Because sometimes, it could be we're paying a whole sub bottom, and that takes an hour and a half. So not everything is 45 minutes or an hour. Or we may do like I think one day, like 11 cooktops in a day, right? So that was one job, 11 repairs.
Okay. And do you have a net margin that you try to target as far as just overall health, or something that you look to sustain growth and profitability?
Lee, you want to answer that?
Well, for different jobs, there are different margins. So like overall, it's one thing, but then there's, different jobs that we do that have different margins. We love to do cooktops because, at least for us, that's our highest margin. Is that yours, Bill?
No,
Would
our
you say
cooktop price is a little lower, so it's not really our highest margin, but
okay?
not bad.
We love cooktops all day long because that's pretty high margin for us. Tubs for us, if it's it depends on what we're doing with the tub. That can be a lower margin, but sometimes that's your best foot in the door initially because everybody has, at least kind of in our territory, seems to have problems with tubs. So typically that's a little bit lower margin for us. We're making money, but it's a great way and it's a pain point for our customers. And so, we're willing to take that on and take a little bit more of a haircut on the margin, but we're getting into a new customer and, there's new opportunities there. So it just kind of depends.
So to roughly answer, I think where you're going with that, I'm happy if I make 25% because margin overall, because I want my people to be happy. I want to bonus them well. Sometimes like when we have a tech that's been running ragged, we'll give them a few hours off. I'm very fair with my customers. So if they're like, this tub, they call us back and it was clearly water damage. The first time I'll mention it to them and I'll say we have to talk to the resident, but I'll give it to them. I won't press and tell them they have to pay double.
Yep, that answers it on both. So thank you.
I think it's my turn. I expect to get into in the franchises that I'm looking at. I expect to, go into this full-time business. Can you comment a little bit on the work-life balance? Is it been a 15-hour-a-day thing to trudge through it, or is it I know you got to put in your time and your work, but just kind of wanted to get an idea what work-life balance is.
Did you work in corporate before?
Yes.
Okay, night and day. I worked in corporate IT for 38 years, and I generally work 60 to 70 hours a week in IT. I probably work 55 to 60 hours, but it's way different. The stress level is probably a 3 as compared to like a 9 or a 10 in corporate IT. Like I'm going to go home tonight. I just finished working 5:30. I'm headed home. I'm going to go home and do invoicing and do some prep for tomorrow. Probably spend another hour and a half on the computer. I'll get up in the morning at 7. I'll do a little bit of work before I head out. I actually got a new employee starting tomorrow, but put in the hours, but it's different. Every day you're moving the ball forward for your business.
Right. Sounds like it's much more rewarding than your corporate job.
Oh, no doubt.
Great.
That's good.
Julie, how about you?
Well, I was in consulting before. Then I took a hiatus for a while, but I will say I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. For me, I do find it stressful. It's very rewarding. So, but I will say too, sometimes some of the repairs stress me out. I'm a perfectionist, and I need to not be a perfectionist at times. And just sometimes it's not linear. What happens is, like, I'm kind of stressed right now because we have so much work to do, and I don't know how we can get it all done, which is better than the stress of not having any work to do. And you've got people looking at you. So I'll take this stress, but it's just, I think with any new business, it just takes time, and we're not making hamburgers. It is more complex, I think, what we're doing, because everything's a little bit unique. It's not rocket science, but it does take a little bit of time, and then, to get people on board and trained. So it's very rewarding. The people you work with, the people, hands down, incredible people. I do find it stressful though at times, and just trying to see how are we going to get all this done, and just always kind of finding or trying to get that right balance, getting that next person in to help grow the business without, having them sit and look at you too. So you want to grow, but it's just not always linear. So there are a lot of squiggly lines in between. So, but it is very rewarding. And I will tell you all the time, I see customers, I'm in the field. I try to be in the field 3 to 4 days a week. And customers always tell me, Julie, you guys are our favorite vendors. And so it's really a great opportunity to build a team the way you want to, the way how you would like to build a business. I came from PricewaterhouseCoopers and consulting, and you felt like you could never make a difference. Here you can make a difference, and you can make a difference pretty quickly, both with your customers and with the team that you develop. So it's very rewarding.
Great.
But it is occasionally stressful too.
Sure.
So basically, if you have to do it again, all this process, you will do it again? You will select the same franchise?
I would.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did you say, would we select the same franchise again?
Yes, if you have to start over again, you will select the same franchise?
I would definitely. The opportunities out there are incredible. Nobody's doing what we are doing on the scale that we're doing it. So this is the opportunity to get in before anything gets saturated and people start copying what we're doing. So I think from what I see in our territory, there's so much more opportunity. So I would definitely, and our customers, as we get further in with them, they just give us more things that we can do for them too. And then like that word of mouth. So I definitely would jump in again.
Yeah, I would as well. And I wouldn't be so concerned with like the copycats, because this franchise has been in business, well, really since 2018 as a franchise. And there's not a day that goes by that the franchise isn't learning something new and getting better at something that we already do. So we've got a huge jump on anybody that would even dream of trying to copy something like this.
Yeah, I don't even know how. We have one of the best things that we have as well is it's called Tech Chat, and we have about 150, I don't know, maybe 170 techs at this point, and everybody comes from different backgrounds, have different specialties, and it is just a constant interaction of best practices, learning things, refining things. So you've got this brain trust of, so even though maybe we haven't seen this repair out of our office, there is only somebody out of this group, 150, 170 techs that have seen this and that can give us some advice about how to approach it. And you just can't replicate that overnight. So we do have a huge jump start on anybody else who would even dream of coming up with this concept. So it's pretty exciting in that way.
How would you characterize the support that you get from Surface Experts, so from the franchise office?
I would say it's well, first off, it's very family friendly, right? They're an awesome group. They want us to all get better every day, and they're super helpful. Regardless of whether it's a financial issue that we're dealing with Greg Hess about, or whether it's a support center thing, with a job that's been scheduled, or an invoicing thing that we couldn't get a person CC'd on our email. We reach out, we get help, and they're super kind people. They just want us to be good franchises. Genuinely, they want that.
Yeah, I would echo that as well. The tone is set at our support center. It's extremely customer focused, and we're their customers, and they're constantly asking for feedback, how they can improve. It's a delight working. We all enjoy our interactions with our support team. And then on the tech side, we've got kind of two people leading the charge with development of new initiatives and approaches to continue fine-tuning the repairs and maybe new repairs we can start tackling. And they're so responsive. Even though we've grown so quickly, they continue to respond to just quick text messages, chat messages. So, and then Jacob and Aaron and kind of the executive team, just very, very, as Bill said, family friendly, very interested in all of us succeeding. And it comes across very clearly. They want all of us to succeed, and they're constantly asking, how can we help you more?
Yeah, and like she mentioned Aaron. Aaron does sales coaching for the franchise, and for example, my salesperson, who's really good, he ran into a stretch where walkthroughs were slowing down for some reason. We talked about it, and we came up with potential reasons for it. But then he just reached out to Aaron and said, "Hey, Aaron, can I get a little bit of your time to talk through this with you?" And she helped him with some pointers and some tips. Right, so she's available always to help out when someone's in need.
Okay, great.
Good. Can you, Julie? You mentioned that 3 to 4 days a week you're in the field. Can you kind of paint the picture of what a typical day is for you, and as well, Bill? I mean, how much time do you spend on recruiting? How much do you spend time on interviewing? How much time do you spend on actually visiting the the jobs themselves? I mean, I'm just managing people or administrative stuff. I'm just kind of want to get a feel for that.
Yeah, I would say typically our team, we meet Mondays and Thursdays. So typically those in the mornings, typically those are 2 days that I'm in the field. Then I'm checking on customers, saying hi. I've got some accounts that I just kind of manage. They're kind of bigger accounts. I have had a newer salesperson, and I've got the relationship, so I'm checking on them. And then I also kind of do a little bit of quality assurance. Not that I can do all these repairs, but just kind of going out and seeing how everybody's doing. We have a big job, so I brought Chick-fil-A out to one of our techs. He's working so hard, so it's a little bit of everything, And while I'm out there, I'm definitely going to say hi to our head of maintenance and to our property manager. And then, like I said, I do sales, not heavy duty sales. A lot of times I'm out there thanking them and just saying hi to our team. But then there is, the side, and I eventually would like to get somebody to help me a little bit more just on some of the bookkeeping and keeping up with all of that. But you do have to stay on top of your invoicing. You do have to stay on top of your AR. So I do spend time doing that too. And that's kind of, I try to carve out at least one day. Like yesterday was my day, Tuesday. I try to be in the office that most of the day just to get through everything that happened last week and to kind of get a head start, you know, going forward for the next several days too. So, but you do wear a lot of different hats. I think as we all mature and we kind of build that infrastructure in place, that changes obviously too. But right now, I think a lot of us are doing a little bit of everything at times.
The interesting thing is we each do get to choose the things that we do and the hats we wear. So some people focus more on getting out in the field so they can do sales. Myself, I want to work with the techs and get the techs better, and I want to augment. You know, when we have customers that need something and our techs are full to capacity, then we're still going to do the jobs. I'm going to pick them up and get them done for our customers. I spend about a day in the office and the rest of the time in the field, either selling or talking to customers or working with the tech or doing jobs myself. The rest of the time, I'm doing operations work every day at home. But there is, like, you know, you got to order paint and you got to go to the Home Depot and get supplies and things of that nature. Those are necessary things to run your business.
And how you get your order? For example, every morning, you know, the day before, people send you emails or calls, or just when, I know when you go out and talk to people, you know, okay, come in and do this, but, you know, do you get like emails or phone calls before so you can plan ahead?
Plan ahead. I don't know about plan ahead, but but we get orders, so we get jobs through text messages. We have a common text message platform that our whole team uses. Our salesperson gets text messages. Salesperson gets emails. I get emails. Things go through support center. So there's so many channels that that we get jobs through, like our moving companies and our restoration companies and our warranty repair companies like American Bath Group will all send emails. Open Door will send online portal work orders, things like that. There's all kinds of channels to get work.
Okay. Yeah, I have another question. You know, when you read all the you know, the PowerPoints and the material, the brochures, they mentioned the franchise mentioned that they have like key accounts. So when you operate in your region, you know, do you get work from those key accounts? Do you get call from them, or how is that process?
Yeah, so most of those, the key accounts or what they call national accounts. By the way, that's been an area of high growth for the franchise in the last year. They hired a really good person in Zach Schwab, who's managing those accounts. But a lot of that is handoff, right? So Open Door, they have a relationship with Open Door, but there's an Open Door set of representatives in your area that you need to meet.
Okay.
So they'll hand off and say, we have a relationship with Open Door at the national level, but you need to get connected with your local level. And that's very typical. Moving companies, restoration companies, construction companies, it's all the same way. Now, there are a few national accounts which you may get work from right off the bat, like All My Sons Moving. So that goes through the support center. American Bath Group, same way. That goes through the support center, and then they just dole out the work to the right franchise.
Okay.
I would say that is not the bulk of your business. That augments your business. Do you find anything different, Julie?
No, I would say the same. We haven't gotten as many kind of national leads, but I know Zach is doing a fantastic job. I think, you know, just every geographic area is a little bit different. But that is definitely an area of growth, and it is, like as Bill said, just kind of nice supplemental work to get. Our office hasn't yet received a lot of that, but we're busy doing everything else. So it just kind of depends on where everybody's located, I think, too.
Okay.
I will say this, though, what's really good too, like Bill had mentioned, Zach, he's a great guy. And what's really great about what he does is if you do have any type of lead, like in your area, but it would be potentially a national account, or, it's a company that's got a footprint, in multiple areas and multiple states. Zach is fantastic because it's hard for us to follow up on all of that, especially if they're not headquartered here. But Zach is great because you give him those leads and he follows up for you. And I've been on presentations with him where you kind of set something up with some of the decision makers, and then he, through a Zoom conference call, Teams, whatever venue we use, he will go through and just kind of leads that initiative, because it's really hard as small offices sometimes to go after where there's a lot of opportunity, but it's going to take a while to get that. You stick him on it, and he's fantastic at that. And so I think it's just going to continue to open doors and more opportunities for us at a local level as he does that.
A lot of us, when we talk about just like types of accounts, and when we talk as owners kind of casually, all of us will say the same thing. It's like the potential is, there's just really no end to it, that we're not even scratching the surface on the places we can go to find business, be they hotels and motels, or real estate agents that sell a lot of homes and list a lot of homes, or moving companies, restoration companies. If there's plumbing supply companies, bath and kitchen galleries. There's so many places we can go and find business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Are you aware if there are any, franchisee that is unhappy or non-performing well or something like that?
I mean, I'll say that we all see each other's performance, right? And when I see performance that's low for a franchisee that's been around a while, I get concerned. But again, everybody runs their business a little differently, so maybe they're just struggling to figure things out in their area. But I'm not aware of any franchisees that are unhappy.
Okay.
We have a national conference, and it's quite fun, isn't it, Julie? We get together and
it is. Yeah. We've only been to one, but it was a lot of fun. And it's great because you get to it's really the informal discussions that are so helpful, because you're talking to all the different owners in different areas and just kind of picking each other's brains. So it's all that, kind of offline conversation I found actually to be the most, beneficial. But it's just a fun group. And again, we've got 5 offices now in the Atlanta area, and I will tell you, we're all friends. We all help each other out. I know that may not be the case maybe always with other areas, but we all get together quarterly. I reached out to 2 offices today because I need help, and that they're going to send some text to help us. So we're all on a team, and it's like a rising tide. It lifts all boats. We want everybody to do well, because as people do well, it helps us all out. So it's very much whatever we can do to help each other out, share advice, share resources. I think across the board, that's what's impressed me the most. I don't know about you, Bill, but I just feel like if I ever have a question we have an owner's channel as well on Microsoft Teams. if I have a question, I mean, there's somebody who's got some really good advice or has been through it before, that they'll share their, what they've learned. So it's everybody's here to obviously succeed, but to help others succeed as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good news is we don't compete with each other. We all want our franchise to get better, and we want the larger franchise to get better and more well-known as well. It's
Yep.
not like corporate where there's fiefdoms and somebody's thinking about taking all your staff and your big project.
Hey, just a quick question about your projections. When you went through your pro forma and your operating projections, how true to reality were they? That you tried to anticipate this and that. Were they pretty? Did your growth in your launch of your business kind of follow along what you had predicted?
My growth was about a year ahead of my pro forma, which is good. There were a couple, I would say, not really surprises, but I spent a little bit more in the beginning on materials and tools. Some of that is my own choice. I want my techs to have everything they need to have to be successful in the field. Spent a little bit more on compliance than was originally planned for, but again, that's $4,000 a year. It's not massive. But pretty much, it's a great performance. Sean did a good job with it.
Did you say compliance?
Yeah, compliance.
Okay.
So that's basically multifamily apartments make you get compliant. Basically, they're doing supplier relationship management and making sure that you have all the insurance and you're compliant. But they hand it off to a third party and you pay the bill.
I see.
It's $100 a year per
property management company. Typically, I would say I would share the same thing, just because we want everybody to succeed. I do think a couple things would be helpful, and I kind of ask those questions like, hey, what are lessons learned when I was talking to different franchise owners? What do you wish you knew now that you didn't know back then? And I would say one is definitely supplies are, I think they have 3% on there. I would definitely put 5 or 6% on that. And then also for us, we're in the Atlanta market. I mean, it is a hot market here. I am having to pay people probably a little bit more than I anticipated, but you want really good people and you want them to stick around and you want to reward them. And then I would say too, just, it's always better to have more cash on hand than less. That's, I think sometimes, it's like that 3 to 6 months, but you don't really want to be at 3 months. I do think it's for your stress level, you want to have that extra working capital. And you probably won't need it, but it's just nice to have that. So I would just say, but I'm CPA by my background too. So maybe I'm a little more conservative. So I would just kind of try and be a little bit more conservative with it. If they say 3 to 6 months, definitely have 6 months.
And do realize, so that's the beginning, and do realize that there are some stepwise changes in your business. So I'm going through one right now where I got to 3 techs and a salesperson myself, and now I need another tech and I need another salesperson. So now you're adding 2 people plus cars plus all the insurance and all the other things that go with it. So that's really it's a stepwise change. But you have to basically look at, okay, what is my target for my revenue is hitting 65. I want my revenue to hit 75 or 80. In order to get there, I've got to make a big change.
Right.
But it can be almost formulaic, and you'll figure it out after about 6 or 8 months. Or you call us and we'll help you out from day one.
Right. You both sound like you're having fun with what you're doing. To me, you guys sound like you're into it and you're having fun, and it's although challenging and there's different fires you put out and things that you have to do. It sounds like you guys are enjoying it. Am I getting the right sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. It is. It's very enjoyable. For me, I love customer service. I've always been in consulting, and it's really rewarding to serve people like how you would like to be served and to run it the way you want to run it. And it's very humbling too at times, but it's great when you just have customers who become those raving fans, and that's how you grow. So, you know, it's anything worthwhile takes a lot of sweat equity, but you know, it's I find it extremely worthwhile. And it's, again, the people are just the cherry on top for sure. We've got great people.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I'm having fun. It's a great business. It really is a very good business. It's fun to build it. I think if you get into Surface Experts, I think you will find things that will surprise you. An example being, so I have a franchisee down in Southwest Florida that I had several conversations before she purchased her franchise. She came from finance and, you know, no tech background, any of that. And now she's out, you know, grinding countertops, and she likes it. She's happy. And she's more effective in the field now because she knows, you know, what her tech's telling her. She went to tech training now, and she's having a great time. And I think you'll find the same thing. It may not be the tech thing, but you'll find things that will surprise you about this business, and you'll gravitate towards the things that are going to make you the most effective.
Great. Did you guys start off in a home office, or did you go out and get yourself a little storefront? I mean, not that you need a display center, but did you start working from home, or did you get yourself a spot?
Started working from home, still working from home. Now I'm looking for some light industrial space, which is really what you would need. You need a place to put your chemicals, and you need a place to put some sample things that you want to have your techs repair, or even do team training. We do team training once a month, and you know, we do it in my garage. So really light industrial space is what you might be looking for eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the same way. I'm looking for space. It's a little hard, and you know, you're so busy, and it takes a little bit of time. So I'm thinking about somebody to help me. It's not like you need a lot of space, but as Bill said, you do need that light industrial space. A few people have tried using like, you know, kind of small office spaces, but they kicked out as well, because if you have your techs, because you want to get a space where they can do practice repairs too. You know, what we use does have smells and chemicals. So I know a few people who kind of went the route of like a small little office space. They ran into a few issues with that. Not everyone, but that is something that's kind of a high priority for us. We're hoping by next quarter to have a dedicated space to store things, have practice repairs, and meet. Right now we use a co-working space. So when we meet, we're meeting Mondays and Thursdays at a co-working space.
We want to respect your time. It's after the hour, so
yeah. Thank you very much for the time.
One thing I'll say as you're popping off the call is, if we can help you in any way, certainly you reach out to Sean. He can get you in touch with us. We'd like to help you in your journey. It's a hard decision, but if you come to Surface Experts and you decide you want to work hard and do something really fun and productive, you know, perhaps you'd find a good home here. But you have to make the personal decision for yourself. But however we can help you, let us know.
Okay. Thank you both. Thank you both very much for your time and for answering our questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Great.
You're welcome.
Thank
Good luck, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.